Man, whore. 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 Miss Hokusai is a weird film. Whereas most films will go for a soundtrack that suits the time period, here the main theme is this alternative J-rock song. The animation is expressive and unique, interrupted by brief segments of a far more expressive and unique art style, albeit far simpler to boot. It's a film that tackles religious beliefs, poverty, and the rise of independent women in 1800s Japan, all the while not feeling obnoxious about it in the slightest. Despite all of these undeniably brilliant positives, I was left underwhelmed come the anticlimactic ending. The biggest issue I have with Miss Hokusai is that it doesn't have a plot, and its idea of overcoming this challenging way of presenting its narrative is to overload the viewer with numerous different subplots. I like subplots as much as the next guy, but their existence shouldn't ever take precedence over the overarching story, and this film is a perfect example of why not. Each subplot is masterfully told, with plenty of creativity, yet when they're all combined without the cohesion of a main storyline, the film feels aimless. I'm still waiting for it to start by the time it ends. And don't give me that "it's slice of life, it isn't supposed to have a plot" crap in the comments. Just because something is slice of life doesn't mean it doesn't have a plot. Even if you're watching a show and the series as a whole has no story, each episode of a well-made show should have a self-contained narrative, however basic, which should have some point to it. And to be fair, you could argue that Miss Hokusai does the same and that I should treat each subplot as an episode of an anime. The problem with that is that this isn't a show, it's a movie. When I watch a show, I can take a break after each episode. Sometimes the structure of the show will even encourage these breaks. With a movie, you're meant to stick around to the end. To pause a movie and come back to it at a different day directly conflicts with the creator's intentions. And while I personally advocate for death of the author, when the author is the entire structure of the whole medium instead of the singular piece, I have to take a step back and say, they should have put more thought into the film. If this was presented as a series of shorts or an OVA, I would probably consider it a masterpiece. Instead, there is plenty of quality content that struggles to get past the tiresome structure that the movie limits the narrative to. 7 out of 10. This video is the 6th in a series of daily uploads where I review some movies I missed over the last decade in the hopes of making the ultimate anime of the decade list. If you have any suggestions for any anime, film or TV, released from 2011 to 2020, please tell me in the comments. I want to find out about it now as opposed to after I make the big ass video. Also, I'm going to say some cringy sellout shit. And tomorrow's film is The Empire of Corpses if you want to watch it in advance. See you then.